All right, everybody, we are back with another tournament finals action, and this is going to be, it's an invitational for another Brazilian tournament. It was basically an all-star tournament with lots of big names in this one. So to give you a quick rundown of everybody that was in this tournament, we got Sudrakon, Hot Soup, Stan, Ian Noguera, 4LW, Goblin, Black Boss, and Leo Zera. So all super notable names in the Legends of Runeterra universe right now. They've all done incredibly well at multiple tournaments, and now they're all going to go head to head in a top 8 double elimination style tournament. And this finals, we saw 4LW and Sudrakon go at it. And guys, I'm just going to give you the heads up. Although this tournament was best of 3 throughout the entire tournament, the last round came down to 4LW and Sudrakon actually doing 2 best of 3s because 4LW went undefeated up until he played Sudrakon. And because it's double elimination, they had to play another set of 3. So absolutely awesome games by both players here. As always, if you guys are new to the channel, do not forget to hit that subscribe button. You guys are going to find tons of tournament content as well as deck videos and other gaming content here. 4LW was playing a Lux Swain deck that unfortunately we just never got to see whatsoever. It was banned out in every single match that he played. He had a Gangplank Sejuani deck and then the one and only Ezreal Harrowing deck, which I'm considering making a deck video on because that deck is nuts bonkers when it works properly. I personally don't think it's the better Ezreal deck of the format. I still think something like a TF Ezreal is much better, but it is pretty nuts when you do get off a Harrowing and you have 4 Ezreal suddenly on the field. On the side of Sudrakon, he had an Ezreal Vi deck, which was essentially a Karina control deck with Ezreal splashed, is probably the better way to put that. He had a Miss Fortune Lucian deck, and also the typical mid-range Frostbite Ashe Sejuani. So as always, all the decks will be linked below in the description. Everything you guys need is down there as always. So these two did both play in BR Legends last week with 4LW taking it away from Sudrakon. So we'll see if Sudrakon can finally get the better of 4LW this time around. So let's get into game 1 of match 1 between 4LW and Sudrakon. We're getting into game number 1 of the finals, 4LW versus Sudrakon, the rematch of BR Legends.
Gonna get started off here with the Karina versus the Nab, which means that the ban predictions out of us were not correct. It was not both Ezreal decks being banned out, which I would lead me to believe that the Ashe Sejuani was the ban from 4LW. So Sudrakon not going to have that deck available to him. Going to be the Misfortune and Karina control, which Karina should have a pretty decent matchup into this Nab deck. As we mentioned, it is a very board-centric deck. But this is not a phenomenal hand from Sudrakon. 4LW has a lot of early aggression that he could throw down here and have work out for him.
Yeah, very interesting to see, you know, what their ban choices were and that they didn't get rid of the Ezreal. I feel like Ezreal is usually the go-to, but, you know, that was back in the Karma Ezreal days. So we'll see if this Ezreal deck... I'm curious to see if he banned the Harrowing Ezreal, though.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see a world where Ashe Sejuani is getting banned over an Ezreal deck.
Yeah, that's odd. that is odd. It could have very well been the Misfortune Lucian. So... I mean, I guess we'll see here when the second game comes to light. But we do see this Vile Feast come out here on the hired gun. Sudrakon's still going to be chilling, sitting pretty at 4 mana afterwards. Pretty aggressive already from 4LW, though, with this Gangplank Sejuani deck. And this is kind of what I expected from Gangplank Sejuani. Kind of go wide as much as possible. Got a Legion rear guard, which always feels like one of the better units to get. But against a Spiderling, not really going to do too much.
Yeah, and I think that we are seeing this Spiderling come out just to prevent any damage going to Sudrakon this turn, delaying those Gangplank and Sejuani level ups, because as you mentioned a lot in the pregame, if those champions level up, it's going to be a big problem for Sudrakon no matter what deck you're running. Gangplank is so much better when leveled. Sejuani, not going to be super impactful in this matchup when leveled, but it does potentially take that Sumpwork map's win condition off the table.
Yeah, and we do see the elusive unit come down, so I imagine Sudrakon's going to be able to deal with it at some point. He's got plenty of removal in his hand. The Get Exciteds don't really feel that great. Box doesn't feel that great this turn anyways. So kind of an awkward unit to deal with, that Zap Spray Fin, because you don't really want to use the removal that you have on it.
It always feels terrible to, like, this is basically a Shadow Assassin. How often do you want to use a removal spell on a Shadow Assassin?
Oh, no, you don't, ever. Yeah.
Never. It's terrible. Your friends are going to make fun of you. They're going to say, why would you do that? Do you know what advantage is? Card advantage? You ever heard of it? This ain't poker.
I feel like that was the biggest in Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Was like, all that mattered was card advantage, and as long as you had more cards than your opponent...
Well, because there was no other resource.
Yeah, exactly, yep. No mana, nada.
It's like, I have 17 cards and you have 2. Unless your 2 cards can make 17, which is possible.
Which is possible in that game. Yeah.
This is another awkward turn for Sudrakon. Box just isn't dealing with anything that 4LW has been playing in an effective manner. He doesn't have any one card that can actually kill this Slippery Wayfinder except for the Thermo Beam, but you want to commit that after you've removed something else.
Yeah, so we'll see if this Slippery Wayfinder finds its way into a tournament-winning deck, because it's definitely proven to be a little difficult to deal with here, and it's something he is going to have to deal with, and looks like he's going to decide to go with the Zap Spray Fin first.
I'm trying to figure out if I like Slippery Wayfinder more than I like Abyssal Eye.
Oh, the emote game is on point. So more than Abyssal Eye. I mean,
I feel like Abyssal Eye should be seeing more play than just in Sea Monsters.
I agree with that, because it's essentially it's the same cost, and for 1 less health and attack you get to draw a card.
But this has a tune, and it works out phenomenally for him here because we see so many 3 damage spells in Sudrakon's hand, but that's like specifically a Karina thing.
Yeah, and it did feel bad having to use the removal that he just did on those units right there. Looks like...
Ooh, big draw turn. Yep. Starting off with the Black Market Merchant. Let me see the follow-up. Pilfered Goods.
Oh, God. Here we go.
This is what we've been waiting for.
This is where it all goes bad, guys.
How many times do you... When your opponent warning shots you and plays a Black Market Merchant with this much mana, how often do you throw out a removal spell onto the first merchant? Do you expect the second merchant or a Yordle Grifter to be coming down after the fact?
That's a good question.
Here we do see him play it after the 2, which is a little strange to me because the first one still gives you Yordle Grifter mana. After the second one, if you're expecting a Pilfered Goods, then they can just play that in response. It's really only if you expect the third merchant.
Well, there's the Yordle Grifter. I don't think
so much steal out of 4LW. Did he get all the win cons?
I'm sure he got at least one of them, and regardless of what he got now, I don't know if Sudrakon's going to have enough to be able to deal with everything that comes down. Wow, this is going to be rough, man. He does have... All right, so he does have a Ladros, though, right? And so 4LW does need to be able to close this game out here in, like, the next turn or two, so I would like to see, like, a Gangplank or...
I would like to see a Ladros out of 4LW.
Yeah.
I want to see that 8-mana Ladros.
That as well, yeah. And unfortunately, we're still 2 turns away, so it feels bad.
For Sudrakon, 4LW has 2 discounted cards, 3 discounted cards, 4 cards.
Well, and one of them is discounted by 2, so we could see a 7-mana Ladros.
Oh, and this is a good way to close up the game. The Fury of the North getting maximum value, going to protect this Black Market Merchant, push through 6 damage. Sudrakon is falling really low here.
Oh, yeah. This is not looking good.
He does not have a great turn. Oh, there's
a box. God.
Box was stolen from Sudrakon, firing off his Vlad emotes at a record speed. This is look at 4LW. The winner has the GG Shen. That is the better emote. I'm
telling you, right, dude. Their emote game. You can tell they've played a lot because they're spamming the hell out of their emotes.
And on the same team.
Yeah, they're both on Team IQ, so they they definitely have played before. Wow. And there's just too many cards on 4LW's side of the field now. I mean, you have 2 units. You got basically 6 cards in hand plus a warning shot. I don't know if Sudrakon's going to be able to come back. I'm trying to think of what combination of cards does it for him. he has to get the Ladros down. We know that.
Yeah. So we don't see Karina very often in the meta, and even with the Ezreal being played in it, it's really kind of showing you why here. This deck is not very powerful. Like the Ledros stuff is still there, but there are so many aggressive decks that can just come down and stop that. Grasp of the Undying stolen out. Yeah, I feel like Nab is just better in this matchup than Bannerman is, and is, you know, much better in the unified format. I'm actually surprised that we see as much Bannerman as we do. Typically in the unified format, you see almost no Bannerman, and then instead everybody is going for the Nab decks.
Yeah, Nab just so strong. I mean, the amount of card advantage you can get with all the Nab cards. Actually, yeah, and he's not even playing Pilfered Goods. So just to give you an idea, like he's not even playing Pilfered Goods, and he's still wrecking with alone just the black market merchants here. So, and then obviously the petty off, or sorry, not petty officers, the Yordle Grifters as well. And there it is. There's the Gangplank. Probably gonna level this turn. It looks like he's pretty close. I don't.
If Sudrakon plays anything pre-combat, he can't get down the Ledros this turn. And if he does play the Ledros this turn, he can't do anything else. That'd block the Gangplank, but you're still taking 4 damage. And if you're right and the Gangplank levels, that means that the Ledros is dying.
Yeah. I think
technically is better for Sudrakon.
Yeah, I think you have to. Actually, no, I think you have to do that, right? Because if he does that and then it dies, he plays it next turn. He now actually has a chance to win with both Get Excited.
And if 4LW predicts that, he might actually attack with the Gangplank first in order to make sure that the Gangplank doesn't level.
Wait, oh, it's pre-level? Oh. Okay, well, there goes that. So, he is not reading to Get Excited, which, I mean...
It is lethal.
Wait, is it?
You deal 1 damage to the Ledros, and then the Overwhelm is another damage.
Oh, yep. Wow. That feels bad. Yeah, wow. And yeah, okay, so 4LW gonna go ahead and take game 1 there. Wow. So that is that was actually a pretty quickly decided game for the type of deck that was. For the Karina control. And I mean, I guess if the Gangplank Sejuani is going to win, then that's what it has to do. It needs to win pretty quick. Now I'm curious to see.
We probably get that Shadow Isle Ezreal mirror that you were hoping for.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're probably right.
I'm like looking at these 2 lists, trying to figure out who I give the advantage to, and I think it might actually be the Ezreal Harrowing, if for no other reason. Then imagine this scenario with me. You get to turn 9. Nobody has any Ezreal targets. Sudrakon throws down Commander Ledros and says, haha, you fool, you don't play Ledros. And 4LW goes, haha, you fool, yes I do. And Fading Memories the Ledros. Plays it. Neither player wants to attack because, you know, in your brain you just go, oh, I don't want to jam and trade Ledros here so that we can't both play them next turn. 4LW dies at the end of the turn, and he gets to play it again.
Okay, so now what... All right, so who... Is there even anybody who has an advantage in this matchup? Like,
I would say that it probably goes to the.
Like, I'm trying to actually think of. I mean, because everything, they're just killing each other's stuff. They're just getting targets, killing each other's stuff.
4LW feels more proactive, which in a stalemate type matchup is typically what you want to be doing, especially when your proactivity is the harrowing. Sudrakon isn't going to have the mana available to him to single target pick off everything that's coming back out of your harrowing. We also have the Rekindler out of 4LW, as well as the Mushroom game plan. So there's a lot of space for, I think, this to work out for the Ezreal harrowing deck.
Yeah, and another pretty important card, too, I think. I got to agree with you. Glimpse Beyond is also going to let him draw a lot faster than the Ezreal Vi deck is going to draw. I mean, the Ezreal Vi is playing Static Shock, but so is the Ezreal Harrowing deck. So I do think overall 4LW versus this particular Ezreal deck has the advantage.
So I think Glimpse Beyond is actually what these Sump Work maps replaced out of Sudrakon's list. Glimpse Beyond is definitely a card that we see pretty often in these Vi Ezreal got the Karina control decks. Jesus.
Yeah.
Just because there's a lot of value in being able to play your own Ledros. Oh, my opponent didn't do anything to it. Let me Glimpse Beyond my Ledros and play it again next turn.
Yeah, no, 100%. So
Granted, some work maps is like basically like, why would I want to play Ledros next turn when I could just hit you with them?
yeah, yeah, yeah. You do 9 damage plus his effect, so which is basically
Especially
almost an
given
OTK.
Yeah, there aren't any other units in the deck besides Ledros and Karina, so the lack of Glimpse
Mhm.
Beyond makes even more sense. You know, you're not throwing down Elise, you're not throwing the Spiderlings under the bus
Yep.
to these to get that value off, and now we're just going to see a naked Static Shock onto Sudrakon's face.
Well, that's kind of about how this matchup goes. If that's a hint to anybody.
Yeah, that's the proactivity I was talking about, though. 4LW has a lot more dig than Sudrakon does. He's got Rummages, he's got, 3 copies of Static Shock. There are also 3 copies of Static Shock coming out of Sudrakon for what it's worth. But 3 Glimpse Beyond as well. There's so much more draw power out of 4LW. And it looks like we're just seeing Vile Feasts back and forth, really determining this early game who can keep the most spiders around. Spoiler alert, it doesn't make a difference. Oh, 4LW has a chance to get off a Glimpse Beyond, though, which is not something we've seen before.
Wow.
Finally has this opportunity available to him. 1 mana, not going to be enough at fast speed to kill the Spiderling. 4LW continues to find the card draw, but the card advantage is actually sitting equal for these players.
Yeah, I mean, Sudrakon is able to get this Vi out on the field pretty early, but I don't really... Vi's not really going to do much. There is 2 copies of Vengeance in 4LW's deck. Otherwise, using removal on it is going to be kind of a pain in the butt with that Tough being there. It looks like he's digging, so he might not actually have an answer for this Vi right now.
Actually discarded Fading Memories and Rekindler. So, understandably not valuing the Fading Memories. That is the only 2 targets in your opponent's deck, Commander Ledros and Karina. You don't really care about getting, like an ephemeral chump wump on your side, especially given other potential discard targets for the Rummage. I think that makes a lot of sense. There are 3 copies of Fading Memories in your deck. If you need one, you'll probably find one at a later time.
Yeah, and he does have the Thermal Beam for the Vi, but now we see the second Vi come down, and I do think that is a smart play on the side of Sudrakon. He's going to go ahead, take the open attack. Again, confirmed open attack. And we're going to see if 4LW is going to be able to deal with this Vi now, because it's going to be tough with... Oh, Jesus, that's twice. Tough.
That's a lot of floated mana from Sudrakon.
Wow, yeah, that is a lot of floated mana. Wait, was Sudrakon the one that floated 7 earlier today, too?
I believe so, yeah.
Sudrakon, what are you doing, my man?
He just likes what he says. I don't care about this, man. I don't need mana to win. This is a Yu-Gi-Oh! All I need is cards. 4LW has the card advantage. If you count mushrooms as cards. They're actually even.
Yeah. I don't think mushrooms count. They're just like effect activators.
They actually do come up pretty big in a couple of Ezreal mirrors, especially this Harrowing Ezreal matchup.
Yeah.
The more chump bumps we see die, the more we get into the death pool, the more a Harrowing is just a mushroom engine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like the alt win condition, right? Well, if you can't get Ezreal to stick, just throw a bunch of shrooms in their deck and you'll be fine.
Mana finally committed from Sudrakon, going to be able to grasp out this Chump Wump. Do you remember when Chump Wump was a 4/4?
Yeah, oh my god, I remember that too. Wow. I'm trying to think now how much that makes that big of a difference. I guess it does. I mean, now that I think about it, because there's that 3 to 4 is such a big deal. Like, same thing with Loyal Badger Bear getting changed like that. So yeah, wow. That was a while ago. Wow, that was a really long time ago. Wasn't that like closed beta?
That might have been patch 1.0.
I thought that might have been like closed beta. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's right. They didn't do a balance patch when they released Rising Tide. So yeah, it had to be the patch before that, I think.
Wow. God,
I always want to like name the patches when I can, but I don't remember the naming conventions used for beta patches.
It was 0.8 or like 0.9.
I think it was like 0.9, 0.1, 0.9.2, like
yeah, or yeah, 0.9.1. Yeah, yep. So, and we do see the Ledros hitting the field.
Show me that Fading Memories 4LW.
Yeah, right. Especially with the 9
Yep.
mana. Yeah,
Yep,
there it is. Called it.
I get to play Ledros too, and now it's really bad for Sudrakon if he doesn't attack. You are in a position where you're higher on life. You definitely want to be trading Ledroses, especially given that 4LW is going to die at the end of the turn anyway. You need to keep up on Ledroses. But Sudrakon might be considering, what if I just Mystic Shot my opponent's face and high roll a Karina next turn?
And yeah, there we go. Wow. feels really bad on the side of Sudrakon. He's going to go ahead and put it right back into 4LW's hand. And, I mean, all right, so Sudrakon has a Mystic Shot, which is not quite enough.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
That's going to even... Oh, no. Sudrakon is still going to have the life advantage when both Ledroses come down, as well as the mana advantage. No get excited out of
Sudrakon.
Either player at the moment. 4LW doesn't run any copies. Sudrakon theoretically wins this one, but we have no idea what's in 4LW's hand.
Wait, you're saying he wins this one because he...
Because he has the mana advantage as well as a known burn spell.
Because when it rolls back around to his turn, he'll be able to play the Ledros. Yeah. Yep. So, yeah, 4LW is going to be really careful about how he kind of navigates this turn. Deciding to pass. So, okay, I think he's giving Sudrakon the chance to misplay and not play the Ledros for some reason, but
Sudrakon could just play the Karina. And if that high rolls, he wins.
And, yeah, and
that
then...
has a lot of potential to win.
But if you play the Karina, does that do anything bad for you if your opponent then plays the Ledros? I don't think so, because then you can just play the Ledros next turn.
High rolls, because the Karina will still deal. You would expect at the very least as much damage as Ledros would deal this turn, which is 4.
Wait a second. How many? We've already seen 2 Vi's, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Karina has a high percentage chance of hitting 5.
Yeah, very high. At least 4. And 4 is how much damage the Ledros would do. So I don't think you're too mad if this doesn't work out. And then you still have the Ledros next turn. As long as you can set... Sudrakon will still end up in a position where he puts 4LW at 1 before 4LW puts him at 1. And then at that point, I can just play a Ledros and kill you. You play your Ledros. Now all of a sudden, whoever blinks first loses. You have to blink first because you have less life than I do. My Ledros is threatening lethal. Yours is not.
Yeah, and there's the 5.
So we've got potential for lethal out of Sudrakon. 4LW does have some life gain spells available to him, but I think with the way things line up, he's going to have to throw them both down on the same stack in order to kill the Karina and prevent an attack. Sudrakon gets to fire off the Mystic Shot in response, and I think no matter how this plays out, no matter what 4LW has in his hand in terms of multiple Grasp of the Undying, Sudrakon should be picking up this win this turn.
And he is actually not playing Grasp or Withering Wail.
I was looking at Sudrakon's list. Okay, so I'm looking at 2 Shadow Isle assets. Trying to keep track of what he can do.
Yeah, I think he's actually... okay.
I mean, he's just putting out a blocker with 3 mana left for nothing.
Yeah, I think he's just dead.
Oh, could have Vile Feast.
I think he... yeah, okay, you could have Vile Feast.
Your opponent, proactively Mystic Shot you, you Vile Feast them in response, and then you just die next turn when he plays his Ledros because you're at 1 life.
Yeah, and there's not enough heal left for 4LW. Yeah, I think this is just going to be game. Yeah, because the Ledros is going to come down, and I think 4LW knows it, which is why I gave the Shen emote.
Oh, it's actually 4LW's attack turn. Jesus, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's 4LW opened with a pass?
Yeah.
I honestly forgot.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We can do this thing called attacking in this game.
Yeah. I do think it was smart from 4LW, though. Had the play around on the Vile Feast, unfortunately, probably not going to have it work out for him next turn, unless he has another Vile Feast.
If he has another Vile Feast, then he does live to this Ledros.
I don't think it's a long run still.
That's really tough.
But any more burn out of Sudrakon's hand. This is sort of 4LW's chance to win the game. It's pretty unlikely that it happens, but this is as good as it gets for you in this situation.
I think he has the second Vile Feast. I feel like that's what he set the current up for. Oh, okay, never mind.
That's just lethal.
Yeah, that's just game. Never mind. Trying to give him the benefit of the doubt there. That is all over, and we are going into game 3 here of 4LW versus Sudrakon. Sudrakon picking up game number 2. Nice. So I'm excited for game number 3. We could actually have basically 2 rounds of finals matches here because 4LW has not lost yet, and this is double elimination. So if 4LW loses here, they actually can go ahead and reset it and play 3 more games, since 4LW has yet to take a loss. Go ahead and change up the score. And we are just waiting for game 3 to get started, and it looks like we are already there. Let's go.
Quick. So, Frostbite Ash versus Harrowing Ezreal.
So wait, that means the Misfortune Lucian was banned, yeah.
That is surprising.
Yeah. And the Lux Swain again was banned. God damn it. We literally, I wonder if he even played that all day. I feel like he didn't.
I don't think he did, no. Not that we saw anyway, and we saw a couple of 4LW matches.
Alright, so the Omen Hawk, pretty good start for the mid-range Frostbite deck here, so always good to see that.
I would imagine 4LW is pretty confident in this matchup, though. Maybe that's why he was firing off the GG Shen emotes. Like, maybe they jammed this matchup a bunch of times and it was 4LW favored every time. Because they are on the same team. You figure they've probably run these matchups a few times.
Oh, yeah, 100%. They've almost definitely played this before. So I'm really curious to see who has the better of this matchup. Because I don't think I've actually seen this particular matchup with the Ezreal Harrowing yet since it's become popular.
I mean, if you're going to win the game, though, a 3-mana 7/6 is one way to do it.
It's funny. I literally got the same exact thing on ladder, and it's like an instant win. Like this, it's very difficult to not.
Fading Memories has to hit the Omen Hawk to develop a blocker here. 4LW is not looking off to a good start here.
Yeah, nope, not at all. You can't even Fading Memories the 7/6 because it can't block. Like that's how that feels bad. The one time can't block is a good thing about the card. And I imagine
4LW possibly contemplating a Static Shock.
Yeah, it doesn't feel terrible. I mean, I don't think you worry too much about taking the 2 damage, but just getting it off and drawing. I mean, if he's having to play a Fading Memories on an Omen Hawk, I feel like he needs to draw through his deck a little bit. And he might also be contemplating it because he blows the 2 mana if he doesn't use it, and we do see it. So yeah, that tells me that he didn't really have any other good plays in his hand for that turn.
So I think 4LW has a Thermogenic Beam.
Yeah.
And I think he was hard contemplating throwing it onto this Reckless Trifarian immediately as the 6 damage did line up onto the 6 health, but was a little bit too afraid of something like a Elixir of Iron coming out of Sudrakon. And even after you Fading Memories the Omen Hawk, you still have 5 mana available to try and throw that out. But 4LW was thinking between, do I want to do this post-combat or do I just go for the Static Shock? Ended up going for the Static Shock. Is I think how this played out.
Yeah, and this is really hard for him too. Like if he does have a Thermo Beam, he can't use it now. This Mystic Shot doesn't really do much against this field. It could possibly set this up for a gotcha on the Trifarian or on the Reckless Trifarian. So we'll see, but it's just not looking spectacular for 4LW right now.
And there's the Elixir of Iron picked up for Sudrakon.
Yep.
4LW's worst nightmare coming to fruition.
Yeah, I guarantee probably something like a gotcha on this Reckless Trifarian going to get countered by this Elixir. And God, Elixir for a 1 mana card, so freaking good. Yep.
There's the gotcha. There's the gotcha out of Sudrakon. It's called, hey buddy, I gotcha. It's called Elixir of Iron. My guy doesn't die. It does still get blocked by the hapless Aristocrat, though, so I wouldn't actually be too surprised to see Sudrakon just let this one go. It is still going to commit to saving this, though, as it does mean every other attacker will get through.
Yeah, I think...
And you could Brittle Steel this as well to continue to save your unit.
Yeah, I think you do need to save it. I think you need to go ahead and try to keep the aggression on for as long as possible here early, and that's how you win this game.
I mean, you do just die to the Ezreal's Mystic Shot next turn if you save this Reckless Trifarian.
Yeah, and I think that's why 4LW is actually considering keeping the Ezreal back. He's just going to go ahead and block the Aversion Sentry. I think you just block the Aversion Sentry here. I don't think you actually block the extra 2 damage from the 4/4.
No, and I'm curious to see if Sudrakon is going to use this Brittle Steel to protect the Reckless Trifarian, if for nothing else, just to give him a draw off of the Assessor Decides it isn't worth it, though. Does know that he has 2 Yetis on the top of his deck. One of those going to get picked up by the Sentry. The other one should be coming relatively soon as well. No need to go ahead and try and preserve that. There is Yeti number 2, and Sudrakon has a really big turn ahead of him. He gets to develop 2 Yetis and an Assessor.
So he has a really big turn, but we could also be going into a turn where 4LW has a Ruination, possibly.
He doesn't have the mana available. I mean, if you draw, yeah, I guess 2 draws isn't really enough to combat a Ruination.
Well, yeah, and well, he'll have the mana next turn, right? So if
yeah,
depending on if Sudrakon has to develop anymore. God, this removal from 4LW just feels so bad. Oh God.
Yeah, this deck has a good Ezreal matchup. It takes so many spells to actually kill the unit, but 4LW predicts the Assessor.
Yep. Yeah.
Kill one of the units before it can come down.
Yeah, good job on his part to do that. Now, I guess Sudrakon, yeah, he's actually gonna think and not play it.
Want to play the Assessor?
I think that's a teammate thing. I'm not gonna let you know that you just read the Assessor, and I'm just
play
gonna
Kato. Get Ruination. Get Ruination.
Yeah.
4LW, blow this man out of the water. Punish him for his hubris.
If he has Ruination here, he's just done. He's just donezos. No way.
Oh man, I really think that if he had it, it probably would have come out by now.
I don't know. I don't know, man. Dude, they're teammates. He might be like messing with his head big time. Like, I'm gonna let him sweat it out. Like, if he has the sweaty Ezreal emote, he should be playing it right about now. Like, and I think he's looking right now to like, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be that far, but he's only got 1 of Ruination, so that's one thing to consider. Oh.
I don't get hype that often. I was about to get so hype, and actually we see the Ezreal level up now out of 4LW.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's going to be enough. This is a massive turn coming out of Sudrakon.
Yeah, I mean, he should be able to live 3, 8, 6. Oh, wait. Does he live?
It's a little dicey.
Does he live and still keep the Ezreal? I don't... Wait.
He's taking 12 with these attacks. Or, sorry, 10.
Well, then it's going to be 3 with the Kato. So...
Matt, so you throw the Spiderlings under Kato and the Yeti, and then you take 10.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yes, okay, yep. So, all right, so he can live without blocking with the... Okay. Okay, he's still going to block with the Ezreal as well. So, yeah, so he's, at this point, 4LW is just conceding to, okay, I need to just stay alive. If I can stay alive, I can try to get back in this, but...
I actually think this means he has a Rekindler.
Oh, okay, then, yep, there is a Rekindler as well. Which, oh, he's on 7 mana, too, yeah.
Yeah, and blocking the Kato with the Ezreal makes a lot of sense then, because it sets yourself up to kill it with the Mystic Shot on the following turn.
Yep. Yeah, 100. Ooh, okay, well, all right.
On Fading Memories and Rummage.
So he might be digging for the Rekindler at this point then, if that's the case.
Yeah, I don't think you ever discard Fading Memories if you have Rekindler. You know, being able to go Rekindler into Fading Memories on the Rekindler just offers up a lot of damage onto your opponent's face, but not going to work out for him this time around. Doesn't look like he actually has it. These blocks are locked in, and I think you're right. He's digging for the Rekindler, understanding that he needs to find that sometime soon.
Yeah, I don't know. It's looking bad. I think Sudrakon might be able to take this one home, even if something... Oh, he drew the Ezreal. Okay. Even if, like, a Harrowing comes out, I don't think it's really going to do him any good. Okay, so he can't do anything about this attack, so there's that. It's one small victory here for 4LW, but I don't know if that's really going to be able to take him all the way here, because now we see the draw train rolling with the Trifarian Assessor. Only 2 draws, though.
As Twitch chat would call it, a massive Trifarian Assessor.
Yeah, did we figure out what the levels are called now?
I've been working on it. I've been workshopping it.
Wow, that's freaking Jesus. That's a board. God, if he has a Ruination now, then that's wow. If he has a Ruination now. Like, I feel like the way that he's playing out these turns when he has exactly 9 mana, he is almost definitely messing with Sudrakon. Like, he just tossed a spell out there and then pulled it back. Like, he's got to be messing with him. Good
to see the players have a little bit of fun with it. Stresses me out as a caster. Makes my job a little bit harder. I'm out here trying to like, okay, they're in the zone. They're thinking of their high level plays, and it's like I'm just telling my friend he's an idiot through emotes. This is Morse code we developed.
And I feel like that's why he keeps roping on these turns as well. Like he's gonna, yeah, okay, yep. There's the. Did he just do it on the reckless? Okay.
But he actually plays pre-combat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's gonna force a trade out with some. Oh wait, no, he can't. Yeah, he post combat. Never mind. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. The highest health.
Wait, why not play it on the Yeti? It's less mana.
It's less. Oh, I mean, maybe so he feels better, so he doesn't burn his mana. I don't know. I don't know. Really stretching there for that one. But
yeah, that was a bit of a reach.
But yeah, I mean, he still actually has 3 cards in his hand, so you got to assume you want to try to have as much mana open for anything you might draw. But yeah, it's a little weird.
I don't think there's any major difference between 6 and 4 mana.
Can we just like? So we are at a point though where he has 4 cards in hand and Sudrakon's at 9. Like,
I think Sudrakon's okay because of this top deck Culling Strike, though. If 4LW does throw out the burn for the win, Sudrakon can just kill the Ezreal in response.
Well, let's see. Uh-oh. I think the Darius emote means 4LW is losing here. We'll see. Oh, wait. Does he have all burst spells? Let's see it. Oh, well, there's... Oh, no,
That's
he doesn't
not
have
enough.
it. Nope. So he would have only had down to 3. Unless he's trying to... Wait, there's no reason why you ever...
No, just hit the OK. Whenever you hover the eye and see your opponent lose the game, just hit the fucking OK button.
Yeah, wait.
If 4LW has 2 more Mystic Shot in hand, he is godlike.
Yeah, that's that would have been insane.
Dumb, but
oh man, that would have been insane. So we have Sudrakon getting his revenge at least once over 4LW, but technically, because this is double elimination, Sudrakon and 4LW are going to play a rematch.
And 4LW could swap up the ban strategy going into match number 2. I think that Bannerman is probably one of the weakest decks that Sudrakon has. I mean, I guess the Ezreal Vi is probably the weakest, given the lineup that 4LW has brought.
Wait, what's the weakest given the lineup of 4LW?
Karina.
Oh, yeah, I still think Karina's terrible. Like
I would like to see an adaptation and maybe a ban onto the Ashe Sejuani, though. I don't think that 4LW's deck necessarily plays super well into that one. Maybe thinking that the Misfortune Lucian's just a little bit more aggressive. He could handle the setup turns from the Ashe Sejuani, and just didn't quite work out for him in that game. As we saw, his hand was pretty bad. He drew a lot of Fading Memories, a lot of Rummages, just really not getting any of his key cards online.
Yeah, and we'll see if he can turn this around in the next game, the rematch, which... It's kind of interesting, too, when you have this double elimination and somebody wins out, how, you know, you win one, but you don't really win. There's still, you know, and it looks like, all right, Trevo in chat is saying the same exact bans this time, too. So interesting. So that means that Misfortune Lucian is banned again from Sudrakon, and 4LW is going to have his luck swing. Damn it. You know... The one deck like this whole tournament that I wanted to see was this Lux Swain deck, and it's just not happening. Nope, not gonna see it.
Boros PCS, and that was just never again.
That
was your
yeah. I was just say I used up all my good luck on like seeing decks that I want to play. Oh my god, I like it's an interesting deck. We haven't seen it. We want to see it play, and not gonna happen this time around. So we're just gonna wait for the second game, match. The second match, we're going to go with match, of Sudrakon and 4LW. Going to get started here in 1 second. So I'm actually just going to go to a quick, like, okay, yeah, Super Amigos I wanted to try too, but Black Boss got eliminated, I think, before we could see it, and he ended up in the loser's bracket, so we couldn't see that one be played, unfortunately. So it feels bad a little bit. Best Bilgewater deck ever made. And, well, yeah, I mean, it's playing Submersible, so. Any deck with Submersible is a good deck, in my opinion, not gonna lie. They all banned it. Of course they did. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, real quick, I just want to go to like a 45-second or like a minute break. We'll be right back. I just gotta go grab something real quick. All right, guys, we are back and we are getting into game 1 of match 2, I guess, is what we're going to call this, of 4LW and Sudrakon for the Brazilian All-Stars tournament here. And we're starting off with Sudrakon's kind of Ezreal Karina deck versus 4LW's, if I remember correctly, this is Gangplank Sejuani, which... I do actually. I prefer Gangplank Sejuani and Swain Sejuani as my ways of playing Sejuani personally, but we don't see a lot of Swain Sejuani anymore. This Gangplank Sejuani has been pretty aggressive in the matches so far against Sudrakon, and we've seen it able to pick up wins pretty swiftly. So against this particular match too, where it is Ezreal kind of Karina, it's going to play a little bit slower. It's a little control. We'll see if this Gangplank Sejuani deck can pick up some tempo and be aggressive early on.
We did see this as sort of the first win that 4LW picked up in match number 1, so I would imagine it's going to play out pretty similarly, though there were some... I'm trying to remember if that was the game where there were some big steals. I think there was. I think that's when he fired off 3 black market merchants in a turn.
Wait, with the Gangplank Sejuani deck?
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So maybe, you know, if 4LW doesn't get all of that good nab action down, maybe it doesn't work out for him this time. Oh, but we're starting off with a nab action early this time around. Going to kill that immediately, not wanting 4LW to get an open, not Black Market Merchant, Yordle Grifter as the first card of the turn.
Yeah, no box this time either to kind of to fall back on with that. So always feels bad, man. Black Market, Yordle Grifter, so much draw.
This Slippery Wave Rider actually came up really big last time around, though, and once again, we're going to have to see Sudrakon commit multiple removal spells to it. Do you ever use Gotcha Mystic Shot over double Mystic Shot? Looks like Sudrakon says the answer is yes. Could actually use the Gotcha as well as the Withering Wail, which might be the play. Withering Wail does not get a lot of value in a matchup like this.
Yeah, I think the Withering Wail is yep. Because you want to save all your face damage to potentially use later on in the game. You know, get excited, and Mystic Shot are just more versatile overall as well. They can target anything. So he also has his Ruination to fall back on, and it's his attack turn right now. So going into turn 7, he will almost likely be playing that Ruination. Depends on what 4LW plays here. It could end up being a bad Ruination. And with this Monkey Idol coming out, I don't know. If we see another unit come out from 4LW, it could actually be a really good Ruination. But nope. He's just going to pass it back on over and see if he takes the open attack here.
I do like how much the threat of Ruination forces your opponent into these sort of mediocre open attacks. Like, this represents 5 damage, but 4LW wants to be getting so much more than that done on turn 7 before Sudrakon gets to that critical turn 9 breakpoint where his Ledros and his Karinas are online.
Yeah.
I think this is the first game out of Sudrakon that we haven't seen multiple Vi.
Yeah, actually, I feel like every single time we've seen him play, he's gotten Vi, and it's been, I mean, Vi is like crucial to this deck being able to survive early game too. Yeah, and he does take the open attack, like you said. Can't really summon anything. That Ruination is most likely going to be there. We do see that it is in fact there, which feels really bad. And I think he's actually playing. I'm trying to pull up his deck again. I put away the Ezreal deck. How many Ruinations is he playing?
I want to say it's 2.
Looks all right. Here we go. I found it. It's yep, 2 and 2 vengeance. Yep. And more elusive units coming down, and this is going to force out some removal from Sudrakon if he can't deal with it.
I actually think I would have preferred just taking the 5 damage for Sudrakon, throwing down a Ruination after the fact, whatever my opponent plays. Because double Mystic Shot, double Get Excited is 10 damage. So if you play Ledros, if you find Ledros on the next couple of turns, then you can just throw it down and kill your opponent the next turn.
Yeah, yeah, 100%, and that's why you know typically you do want to save that face damage, which is exactly what he's doing here. It doesn't look like 4LW, like when we saw this match previously, 4LW was able to be a lot more aggressive than he is right now. I mean, this monkey idol with the monkey token chilling and the zap spray fin doesn't really seem too threatening. And again, it's because 4LW isn't able to play anything into this Ruination because he knows it's just going to drop right down once he plays something. So
a super low impact Make It Rain, but that's about as high impact as the card gets, especially if it turns on a Riptide Rex. And that is almost certainly going to be the Ruination coming out of Sudrakon.
Wow. Yep, that is... I mean, still kind of like a feels bad Ruination because 4LW probably still has plenty of units to reload the board. And he was able to get a solid 7 damage on a Sudrakon's face. So I think overall 4LW is okay with that going into an attack turn.
And 4LW is going to feel insanely... Oh, he just has lethal
wow.
with the Riptide Rex. Sudrakon has the Grasp of the Undying to save himself.
Wow, that's a pretty nuts play. I'm not going to lie. Back-to-back direct 7 damage Riptides.
And 4LW is actually going to feel really good about this. If you are in a position where your opponent is using a lifesteal spell to save themselves from the Riptide Rex, it means that Ledros isn't coming down on curve.
Yeah, and that's huge to avoid that. And he's getting...
Top deck Undying, too. Sudrakon getting pretty lucky so far.
Does have to use 2 pieces of removal on the Riptide, too. And one of the Mystic Shots is now down the drain. And this hand is... I mean, if anything gets summoned... If anything gets summoned on 4LW's field, it's going to go bye-bye. You could say bye to this YOLO Grifter. Pretty much anything else that 4LW plays. I don't imagine 4LW is going to try to play more than 1 unit in 1 turn because of the box, but we'll see.
I mean, it's kind of awkward because you want to go wide to avoid all of these single pieces of removal, but if you do, you get punished by the box. And Sudrakon, while that Grasp was timely, hasn't really found any of his actual win conditions. So ultimately not drawing great over the course of the game. It was just one very timely, very fortunate top deck to keep him in it, buy him a little bit more time to try to find these Commander Ledrosses or these Karina Varazas. And 4LW actually gonna go for the open attack. I would assume it would seem a little weird if you didn't develop anything that turn and then you want to develop pre-combat knowing that another Ruination or a Karina could be coming down.
Well, I mean, if he's only worried about the box and not a Ruination, he could develop something else.
I mean, there are more copies of Ruination and Karina, or I think there are exactly as many copies of Ruination and Karina left as the box.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Yep. So we'll see if he does. I mean, you just threaten lethal straight up by open attacking. You'll get out something like a Get Excited, which is generally just good for you anyways. It's, you won't just instantly die to a Ledros. And yep, he's going to go ahead and discard one of the boxes.
That's pretty big, actually. All of a sudden, Gangplanks and Sejuanis are going to live through the box. And here we see Fury of the North.
Ooh.
I think this is why he discarded the box, though, so that now he still has all of this burn available to actually take out a Fury of the North up unit. This will leave him with Karina. Can't play it this turn.
Yeah, I think that might be just game, though, for 4LW, because, I mean, he just blew everything he's got now, and, I mean, even if he top decks something like a Ledros, I don't see how Sudrakon's... I mean, 4LW can just go wide at that point.
Yeah, I think Sudrakon might actually have to open with a pat. Well, it depends on how much 4LW develops this turn. Slippery Wave Rider. That is something that you are going to have to Karina.
God, I love seeing that card. It's like such a... Oh my God, I don't know how I feel about it yet. I do think it's a decent card, but it's not like blowing me away yet,
It's cute.
It's cute. It's nifty. It does some stuff.
And we see the whiff from
Wow,
Sudrakon on the
Jesus.
Karina effect. Slippery Wave Rider will just be lethal on the open attack unless Sudrakon can find another removal piece. But he's pretty much blown through all of it at this point. And actually, the Gangplank will also represent a lethal attack. There's nothing that Sudrakon can draw at this point. Actually, I think another Grasp of the Undying keeps him in it.
And another, I think he also has Withering Wail, technically. Oh, no. Did he already play one Withering Wail?
I don't know.
I don't
Actually, now
think
he just
so.
has the Vengeance means that 4LW even just has lethal on the Gangplank attack. Even if you draw the Withering Wail, then the Gangplank attack is still just lethal.
Yeah. So, no matter what, oh, wait.
The open attack, you still die.
Okay, yeah. You still... Okay, yeah.
Slippery Wave Rider.
Man, these top decks, though, on the side of Sudrakon, he's definitely not drawing terrible. Oh, and
3 damage warning shot with the barrels, the unavoidable lethal.
all right, well, now there's definitely no question.
It's done with style.
Wow, so now we have, 4LW taking the first game, and man, Sudrakon, he's got a long uphill battle if he's going to get his revenge on 4LW for winning BR Legends. That very short 1 week ago. I think it was literally last Thursday that had happened.
Yeah. I mean, so that matchup played out exactly the same way it did in match number 1, which we did see Sudrakon win. So far, everything's par for the course. We're going to get into the same matchup we did last time as well in game number 2 in the Shadow Isle Ezreal mirror, and Sudrakon picked up this one last time as well. Granted, 4LW had a bit of a rough hand. Too many rummages, too many fading memories. Can he pull it back this time around? Sudrakon's hand is looking a lot better than it was last game.
Yeah, namely because of the Vi. That is kind of a big deal. And now, though, we're going to see if... Because we did see this this mirror before. All right, I don't know if you really want to call it a mirror, but it kind of is. They're both kind of doing similar things.
I was going to say same win condition, same regional composition, but I feel like Sudrakon's win condition is actually Ledros and 4LW's is actually the Harrowing.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Their play style is similar, but how they actually win is 100% different. Okay.
I mean, nothing else to do. Might as well throw that at face. You know that you and your opponent are going to pass back a little bit more. You're not really worried about preserving the spell mana.
Yep, that's what these matchups typically entail and what they do best. Passing back and forth. And it looks like we're about to see, as soon as it loads, the Chumpwump possibly. Yep. So Chumpwump hits the field on the side of 4LW. And we're going to see some targets come out from Sudrakon as well. So already getting the Chumpwump engine going. So maybe we get an early Harrowing here with a Rekindler and an Ezreal and a Chumpwump with them already being dead. So it'd be cool to see if we get a turn 7 Rekindler. If we do get a turn 7 Rekindler, then I think things are on the up and up for 4LW.
I don't think a turn 7 Rekindler would do anything. It does set up for the Harrowing a little bit later on. It is something that your opponent has to answer. I'm a little more interested in seeing copies of Fading Memories come down onto this Chumpwump and really lean into the Mushroom plan. Get as many of those into the death pool for the Harrowing as possible to try and get as many mushrooms through as possible.
Yeah, because the thing with Ezreal, too, like, he's not really going to level fast, especially if Sudrakon just doesn't play anything. And, he has a token out on the field. And, yeah, we see another Ezreal just plop down onto the field as well. So yeah, if he does summon more Chumpwumps, I mean, do we foresee 4LW like actually winning with Shrooms here? Like, is that a thing?
I think it's not unreasonable for how much passing we're going to see back and forth. It's a little bit less likely because Sudrakon does have the turn 9 Ledros. So I think that while it has potential to work out, it's not necessarily going to be the case in this game unless he could get like a second Chumpwump down here, shuffle in the 4 Shrooms, get like a turn 6 Harrowing to refill on the Mushrooms, get 30 into his deck, and then high roll it. Overall, it seems pretty unlikely, though. I think saving the Fading Memories for the Ledros is a bit of a better deal.
Yeah, and we do see the Static Shock come out. We're going to get at least one more target, slowly but surely, leveling up that Ezreal. And, yeah, Fading Memories on Ledros, man. Whew. It's so good. Like, so good versus this deck. I mean, that alone just gives 4LW a little bit of an advantage. I do still think 4LW has the advantage in this matchup as well. So, if he is able to win this game, take a quick 2-0 versus Sudrakon here in the second match, but can Sudrakon come back, man? I mean, I know I see Sudrakon all over the place. Me and you have casted him so many times at Duels of Runeterra, so many tournaments. I don't think he's going to be too happy if he loses to 4LW twice on 2 different Brazilian occasions, 2 different Brazilian tournaments, and it's his own teammate. Like, come on, he can't be having that here.
That I will say that, I mean, it's a card game. Egos get in the way sometimes. I don't know much about these 2 players personally, but it doesn't feel good if one of your teammates is consistently spanking you in tournaments.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, I guess you'd rather him be on your team than a different team, right?
Well, yeah, and it was kind of like with BR Legends too, when 4LW won and Sudrakon lost, they're like, but Team IQ had both people in the finals, so like, was it even a loss? Like, you know, so it's good for the team overall, you know, it's if you're a team player. It's like you playing for the Patriots and Tom Brady wins you the game, like, but you sat in the bench all game. Do you feel bad that you sat in the bench, or?
A lot more rude than I mean it to, but I don't think there's any other way to say it. Is anybody tracking Team IQ's wins other than Team IQ?
Like tournament wins as a team?
Yeah.
Probably
like is
not.
Anybody on the planet tracking that other than Team IQ? Because I feel like the answer is no.
So we have the spreadsheet that tracks all the individual players' tournament tops.
Exactly. Everybody's tracking individual players. So, like, sure, it's a team win, but does anybody other than your team know that or care to know that?
Probably just, like, the individual players might know, like, when they won. That's probably about it. But not, like, unified as a team.
And I think one of the reasons for that is, like, one of the big reasons to track team wins is to talk shit to other teams.
Yes, sirree.
Another team.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't really matter if you're not tracking the wins, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, I know that I've been on card game teams before. The main thing we tracked wins for was to, like, throw down with other teams or, like, play in team wars or things like that.
Yeah.
The only other team I can think of is Team Leviathan Gaming, but outside of, like, you know, I know that there are people on the team. I never see them talk as a team or, like, enter tournaments with the team tag kind of thing.
Yeah, I see a couple players here and there from TLG, like, at Duels of Runeterra and stuff, but that's about it. Or like what Tempo Storm I know does some Legends of Runeterra stuff, but like I don't ever see. Yeah, I don't ever see a player for Legends of Runeterra for Tempo Storm. So I think is Team IQ are the Brazilian teams like the only teams in Runeterra really right now, or
that I can think of? I mean, so in Korea they do have sponsored players, like a Freak of Freaks has a team. A couple of other orgs have teams.
That was quick. Holy shit.
They actually have esports in Korea for it. They've already done 3 major tournaments.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, I've casted all of them.
Those are but those are all I know you casted them all, but those are all like sponsored events with like,
what are all Riot Korea tournaments?
What are the that's right, they are Riot tournaments. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
What's the prize pool right now over there?
Big.
Yeah? Wow. Yeah. No, they're not. Are you being sarcastic?
No.
Like big,
like tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh wow, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, for some reason I didn't think, like, I knew they were by Riot, but I didn't think they were like legitimate like sponsored events from like large companies like that. So that's pretty cool to hear that they are. So wait, why are we so far behind, guys? NA, like EU. What the heck, mate? Yeah, everybody on the east side of the world here, they know where it's at with esports. We don't know what the hell's going on.
So I do want to point out, back to the game for a second here, the thermo beam onto the Ledros probably looked a little bit weird there, and I think it was just to soften this up for something, like a gotcha or a get excited, because 4LW knows that he's not going to have a blocker for the Ledros at the end of the turn, does need to be able to kill that and clean it up in the end, but Sudrakon has Atrocity. Sudrakon could just attack with this Atrocity, and that's going to force 2 3 damage spells out of 4LW, which could be too hard to come by, and he could just pick up the win here.
Wow, yeah, and the 8 attack Vi also got a Vault Breaker in hand, which could do some work. Wow.
So now if 4LW plays Ledros, he just loses. But he knows that because he knows that the Vi would pull Ledros to the side. He'd only have 1 mana left, and the attack from Sudrakon's Ledros would just kill him.
Yeah, I feel like this always comes down to like who's playing the last Ledros in this matchup, because it just always comes down to the fading memory on the Ledros, right?
Yeah, I think the problem is that 4LW is constantly on the back foot of the life total, and Sudrakon just has more burn available to him. 4LW isn't playing Get Excited. Sudrakon has these sump work maps and these, this copy of Atrocity. He's got a lot of extra burn to get through this massive life. Like 4LW's at half his life, and he's about to die.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna see a Harrowing come out here from 4LW to just suck up damage and maybe get like a chump up or something like that.
And then I mean, no matter what 4LW plays, I'm pretty sure he just dies to this Atrocity. The sump work maps comes out.
Yep.
And that means that I've got 2 lethal attackers. I've got the Atrocity. There's no way Sudrakon doesn't win this game right here, right now.
Wait. What's this? What does this do? What does this card do?
It doesn't matter what it does. It doesn't stop Atrocity.
Oh, God. He's such a troll. He's such a troll. 4LW's been doing this with Sudrakon, I feel like, the entire match. He just, plays random stuff for no reason. Oh, God.
And then Sudrakon's just like, okay, now that you've played stuff for no reason,
yeah.
let me do stuff.
Oh, wait. Oh my! Wait. Oh, okay. No, he's still...
He would have needed a top deck gotcha to actually kill the Lagros, and even then I'm not sure that 4LW would do it. He might just be like, okay, well, you had game, you're just memeing me back, and it'd be BM for me to, not do this.
That would have been hysterical if he got that vengeance out and then somehow lived there after that when he didn't even need
I feel like
Atrocity.
he would have immediately surrendered afterwards.
Oh my God, yeah, that. No, that's not cool, man. Oh my God.
That does mean we're going to see another game 3 between the Frostbite Control and the Harrowing Ezreal. It's really weird to me that they lined up their decks the same way as the first match as well.
Yeah, I mean maybe they tried doing the whole psychological all right, if he goes rock, I'm gonna go paper, or whatever it is, and they just ended up on the same thing. Maybe, I don't know. Where your teammates so well, the counter to their counter. So we'll get back into the gameplay here. Looks like game 3 is about to get started.
All right, Omen Hawk into Reckless Trifarian. Let's get it again.
Yeah.
4LW will have the attack token on 3 this time, though, so maybe that plays out for him a little bit better. But Sudrakon has a beautiful curve here, which actually could play against him because it means I would say it would play against him because he doesn't have Elixir of Iron for a few turns then, but you're not playing this Trifarian Assessor on 4. Yeah. But now that he's got Ashe...
No, Ashe is a great turn 4 play. Now... How does this Harrowing deck fare against a mid-range? Oh no. This was the same exact matchup from earlier. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, all right. We'll see if Sudrakon can be aggressive again, because he really is just gonna have to get units down as quickly as possible. We're gonna see the Trapper. We're gonna see the Ashe. So, it's gonna if he can get into another Reckless Trifarian, that was 100% what won him that game. I don't know. We'll see what his next couple of draws look like.
Yeah, he's not doing as good of a job as sort of putting the aggression on this game. Has been completely stonewalled out of attacks thus far. Looks like we're setting up for... Does 4LW play Withering Wheel? It's so hard to think of a Shadow Isle PZ control deck and be like, they play all these cards, and then this one just throws all of that out the window and plays other stuff.
And yep, there's the second Omen Hawk, so let's see if it gets buffed on a Reckless Trifarian.
This is a little strange to me because I feel like your ideal turn would have been Ashe into Yeti, Ashe this turn and then Yeti Assessor next turn. Instead going for just a little bit of a wider board, which I can't disrespect. I mean, the Ashe really didn't accomplish a lot this turn. It does just get chump blocked by that Hapless Aristocrat for a couple of turns. It really doesn't get much through. So instead of going for the draw, it does just go for the damage, which I think is probably correct in a matchup like this.
Yeah, and I mean, Sudrakon is still able to go wide. So we see here, he's still got a lot of units to be able to put on that aggression that we've been talking about. Problem is a lot of these are going to die to these blocks here, right? So he's going to get some damage through. But is a good shot that 4LW can trade down a lot of this board. The Sentry can trade with the Hawk. The Spider, or the Hapless Aristocrat, can trade with the Trapper. And you could even block the Sentry with the Ezreal here. He might want to block the 5/5 Yeti just to save some health. I don't know. So we'll see.
I think it's important to soften up the Yeti with some, because we saw last game 4LW got into a really rough spot where he had to throw 2 removal spells at each Yeti. even if you can just block it with the Sentry, that still puts it into a Gotcha Ranger,
Yep.
Static Shock into Mystic Shot. And I feel like you're much more comfortable. If you're going to throw 2 removal spells at something, you want one of them to be Static Shock.
Yeah, and we see too that Sudrakon has Elixir of Iron, right? So even if 4LW goes the route of trying to trade away a lot of these followers, the Elixir of Iron is going to save somebody, probably the Trapper, I imagine. So it's not really too great of a plan to go ahead and trade like that. And it does look like he's going to trade the Sentry with this Yeti here to try to get it down a little bit. And he does have the Mystic Shot for the Omen Hawk. All right, cool. So he's not really taking any damage really this turn.
Yeah, and even has a good setup on the following turn with the Ezreal's Mystic Shot into the Yeti. Okay, so every time I want to talk about Ezreal's created Mystic Shot, I call it Ezreal's Mystic Shot, which is the name of the champion spell Mystic Shot. Is there a way that you have found to differentiate these two?
Wait, differentiate Ezreal's Mystic Shot from Mystic Shot?
Differentiate Ezreal's Mystic Shot from the Mystic Shot created by Ezreal.
Oh, that's a hard one, huh?
Because obviously I want to, like, that card in his hand, I want to call that Ezreal's Mystic Shot because Ezreal created it, but that is the name of the champion spell.
Ezreal's fleeting Mystic Shot?
That's so many words.
I mean, yeah, it's extra word, but hey, you know, it is.
Yeah, I gotta do what I gotta do.
We gotta add some words in there sometimes as casters. We only have so many words that we can say each day. Like, you guys don't know, but we're given a limit. And
yeah,
saying fleeting every
so
time.
Many different words we can say. Serendipity. Like, I probably couldn't afford to throw that word away.
All right.
Juxtapositionally, I did.
I'll give you $5 if you can spell juxtapositionally.
Spelling and geography are my 2 worst subjects by far.
Oh, geography, really?
Yeah, I don't know why. I suck at geography.
Yeah, it's like I'm actually really good. I ran a trucking company, so like I had to know where every state was. It's kind of. It
feels weird because I've like traveled the world playing card games. I just like it doesn't matter where this country is. Yeah. I just know I'm going here. Like its geographical position and the surrounding countries don't really matter to me that much.
We might be on Mars, but you know, it's yeah. Don't worry about it. We're playing cards. That's all I know.
Yeah, like I don't have to know where it is to buy a plane ticket there.
So, we see the Gotcha come out on the Ash, and this is finally where we see that. Good old 1 mana deny is basically what I figure that card is most of the time. And this Ash is going to stick around. And feels bad.
That's big because it one less Assessor draws. Well, 4LW has actually done a phenomenal job in this matchup of controlling the Assessor draws.
Yeah, in the other one too. He predicted that he was going to have, he ended up losing anyways, but he still did a pretty good job of kind of, we could see that he knew when Sudrakon had the Assessor and was possibly going for it. And I imagine because this Yeti is at 5-3, if he is worried about the Assessor and he has a Gotcha, he's going to go ahead and try to play it here.
Instead, just going to be Thermo Beam straight away onto the Reckless Trifarian. That does put Ezreal at 7 out of 8, as well as continue to deny these Assessor draws. Still going to be a decent attack out of Sudrakon this turn. Will be taking 6 damage, and I really like the Frostbite onto the Spiderling because it prevents that from blocking the Yeti and setting up an Ezreal's Fleeting Mystic Shot to finish that card off next turn.
Yeah, I mean, this will be a decent attack for Sudrakon.
I just don't know if it's enough. It's only 6 damage getting pushed through. 4LW going to fall down to 12. That's actually even if he wants... What?
He could only take 5 damage, too.
Oh, we actually are going to block. So this means either another Ezreal is in hand or Rekindler.
Yep, we're going on turn 7, so it's got to be a Rekindler, I imagine.
The hard part is that if you Rekindler, you don't have the mana to play the fleeting shot or the mystic fleeting shot.
Oh god, this is going to be a thing now. This is not going to be easy.
Yeah, okay, so it is Ezreal number 2. This means he does still have the fleeting mystic shot available to him. Will be able to take out the Yeti, but there's still a lot of damage coming out of Sudrakon. That Trifarian Glory Seeker was a big pickup. Could be easy for 4LW to remove, but we'll have to see exactly how it works out as the Ezreal does upgrade. 4LW now has the win condition online. Can he actually win the game with it? I don't think we've actually seen a harrowing out of 4LW all tournament.
No. And literally when I first saw this deck, I was like, I just want to see a harrowing with like some crazy amount of Ezreals or Chump Lumps.
I think we saw like one harrowing a little earlier on, but I don't think we've seen it in this entire series between him and Sudrakon.
I don't even know if we did though. I think he just hovered it to see what would be summoned. Like I don't
that is
like what the heck, man? Isn't this? I was told we would see an Ezreal harrowing deck today. This is false advertisement, okay?
Who told you that?
Oh God, I don't know. You?
Yeah, see, you can't get up for false advertising if you don't know who to sue.
Oh, the Excel spreadsheet, man.
Dear Bill Gates.
Yeah, dear Microsoft.
In a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, I read false information.
Fix this for all of us Legends of Runeterra's players. Oh man, so I mean, Sudrakon, he's got some stuff on the field, and he's about to draw some stuff too. So wow,
is it enough stuff to take care of 2 Ezreals? This is basically Karma Ezreal.
Well, he can take care of one of them. This might be going into a harrowing turn. We might actually finally see like a harrowing win, maybe? I don't know. It doesn't look like 4LW has any other way to kind of stave off any of this attack. So, yeah, I mean, this leads me to believe 4LW has just been setting up for a harrowing, but
I feel like it has to be harrowing because otherwise you probably don't block the Ice Veil Archer with your Ezreal.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, because it wouldn't have been lethal.
Do you have lethal off of harrowing?
I think maybe. I don't know. I don't know anything nowadays. We haven't even seen harrowing. Okay, it's happening. Guys, it's happening. We finally made it to the second match of the finals. And we finally have a 4 Ezreal harrowing. Let's get it.
I mean, 4LW would just lose to a Reckoning here, right? I guess he only has to play 2 spells with his 3 mana.
I think that's game.
Fading Memories. Okay,
Yep.
Yeah, that's 8 damage.
Yeah, you know those 0 cost burst 8 damage spells? Yeah, they're pretty OP.
Now he just gets to attack into... Okay, so it is Rummage. Okay, so he just had the 2 burst spells. Wow, yeah, that is going to be 4 LW. 1 mana, 16 damage.
Oh, that's... All right, I'm not going to lie. I like the Misfortune emote with the 4 Ezreals on the field. So, wow, okay.
2 mana, 24 damage.
Seems balanced. All right, everybody, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. 4LW, man. Whew, he's just got Sudrakon's number. Feels bad. I'm very much looking forward to them going at it again. They are both Team IQ members. I'm sure they'll be playing in the finals of some tournament somewhere sometime soon against each other, and I hopefully will be there to cast it because this is a battle now. This is one of those rivalries you like to see. This is actually an internal team rivalry too, which is kind of cool. So, but as always, until next time, everybody, stay healthy, stay positive. I hope shit just works for you, and peace out.